local soda fountain. Innocently they dance, innocent of a new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell. In this film, you will see the ease with which this vicious plant can be grown in your neighbor's yard, rolled into harmless-looking cigarettes, hidden in an innocent shoe or watch case.
If you want a good smoke, try one of these.
You will meet Bill, who once took pride in his strong will as he takes the first step toward enslavement.
Of course, if you're afraid.
Smoking the soul-destroying reefer, they find a moment's pleasure, but at a terrible price. Debauchery, violence, murder, suicide, and the ultimate end of the marijuana addict.
Black bastard.
Hopeless insanity. See this important film now, before it is too late.
Hey now, and welcome to another thrill-packed and exciting episode of Stories from the Groovy Room. I am, of course, your host, or whatever I am, that head daddy. And as you can see, we are in the Groovy Room. So today I decided that I was going to do a haul video, and inspired by what I got, I'm going to do sort of reviews on the last two shows that I've been to, which would be Dead & Company at Star Lake, and then I saw Dupree's Dead Band at Jinx in Cuyahoga Falls. So I'm going to kind of review those, sort of, but not your typical review. So let's go ahead and get right into yesterday's haul. I went up to a local record store, traded in a bunch of stuff because I'm trying to declutter and consolidate some stuff, and but he gave me a really good deal for trade, and so I found a few things. So first I want to show you, this is, see it okay? Yes. This is Hawkwind's 1980 album, Levitation. It is featuring the legendary drummer himself, Ginger Baker. Sorry, yeah, Ginger Baker. Yeah, featuring Ginger Baker. And, it's a pretty groovy album. I'm also wanted to let you know that Tim Blake, who you may know as the keyboardist of Gong, is also on this album. So two classic rock, or whatever you want to say, legends on this album. Now, as far as this album is concerned, anything post-classic era, like 70s, early mid 70s, I'm always suspicious of when it comes to Hawkwind. I'm sorry, but you know, there was a brief period where they weren't talking about outer space, and I'm like, if it's not about outer space, is it really Hawkwind, to be honest? So anything like mega bands like this, like Uriah Heep, Hawkwind, stuff like that, I'm always leery in the 80s. And unfortunately, at least in my opinion, Levitation does have kind of that 80s overproduction thing going on that a lot of bands did. You know, it's just too much. I like Hawkwind and really my bands in general to be loud and rough. I have a few Psychedelic Unknowns albums, which is just obscure psychedelic music, and I really like them because they're lo-fi. They're not remixed or anything. They just found them and threw them on an album. So that's the kind of stuff I like. So this was just too polished for my personal taste, but that isn't to say it doesn't have its moments. It does have some really trippy, really cool, spacey moments in it with the instrumentals and stuff. But so it's definitely worth picking up. It was definitely better than I expected it to be. So, like I said, man, it's definitely worth picking up. I'm gonna on these reviews if I do any more, I don't know. I'm gonna do excuse me. I'm gonna do Bertha's on a scale of 1 to 5, and I'm gonna give this one a 3. It's a very good middle of the road type album. If you're already a Hawkwind fan, there's not gonna be any surprises, but you're gonna like it. You're gonna dig it. If you're not already a Hawkwind fan, I would say don't let this album be the one to start. There's better choices. So again, 3 out of 5 Berthas, so not bad. Check it out. Okay. Now, the next 2 things I picked up in the haul are not going to be reviewed because there's no point, but I have stories. Oh, hold on. Okay. Jeez. By the way, you see this boring old cup? It's got black and it's got the Duchess logo on it from the gas station I got it from, which I'm trying not to show. But having said that, sorry, I got a text. But you know, if you don't want a fellow brother to have a boring old cup, and you make stickers and want to send me some, my email's here. I'm not gonna argue. You know, we can figure something out. I have some more Groovy Room stickers coming, so maybe we could do some trades or something. But let's have a groovy cup, man. Anyways, okay. Next 2 albums that I picked up at the haul. I apologize for the glare. Okay, yes. This is Blues for Allah from the legendary Grateful Dead. So, you know, it's going to be Grateful Dead if I'm going to talk about it, probably. And it came with the original liner note sheet. And it's got this cool Jester label on it. And all the songs on the other side. I know it's just a quickie. But this bad boy is in beautiful shape. Not pristine by any stretch of the imagination. But this cover, I mean, I don't think you can tell. But other than the cutout mark on it, it's still in gorgeous, gorgeous shape. It's one of those records that, although I'd be disappointed if it didn't play, I could still frame the cover. Because it's a nicey cover. So, the only time that I've ever seen Blues for Allah on vinyl was when my partner and I were visiting our daughter in Colorado at Voco. And we went into like this vintage thrift store deal, and they had a copy of it, but it was in about the same condition of mine, which I would say very good at best. You know, probably very good. And they wanted 100 smackaroonies for it. So as much as it broke my heart, I did pass on it. So I was super, super happy to find this guy because it is one of my favorite albums. I've been looking for it since I started collecting vinyl a couple of years ago. So I'm really, really, really happy. Which, before I forget, I do live in Kent, Ohio, and really this whole area in general, it's kind of hard to find Grateful Dead stuff. You just got to keep looking, and hope you get lucky. I mean, it's even hard to find it on CD, except for a few things. So yeah, so it is hard to find. Now, this next find, and it's the final find, it was just a small haul, because I got a lot more I want to talk about. I literally squealed in the store when I saw this, for me personally. And that is Grateful Dead, Wake of the Flood, and this bad boy right here. Same kind of condition as Blues for Allah. Whoever had these prior to me knew how to take care of records. And it's got the cool, you know, Crow Grateful Dead label on it. Makes me super, super happy. Sounds pristine. So I'm happy. I'm happy with it. Having said that, my story is never once in all my years of music collecting have I ever seen this album, a physical copy of it in the wild. Not one time. Not any format, nothing. Like I said, Grateful Dead stuff can be hard to find sometimes. And in fact, I only have it on CD because I have a copy from somebody. So it's okay, it still plays, still sounds the same. So yes, I was super, super ecstatic to find this yesterday. I would have been just happy with one of the two albums, and I found both of them. So, right on. And that almost completes my vinyl collection. I need Shakedown Street, I think. Well, I know I need Shakedown Street, and I think that's it. Maybe, I'll have to do my research. But as far as vinyl is, all the original albums, I don't care if they're original pressings or anything, man. As long as it plays, I'm happy. But anyways, so I think that does it for me. I'll double check, but so I'm super stoked and out looking for a good but fairly priced copy of Shakedown Street. If anybody's got one they want to give away, I mean. So yeah, so that was the haul. Pretty cool haul, I think, and I'm very happy with it. So let's talk about some shows.
6 a.m. on Freshwater Downs, 50 acres of such natural beauty that it's now being preserved as part of our heritage by the National Trust. Only this weekend, this unspoiled corner of England has a new name, Devastation Hill. It's home for who knows how many hippies, weirdies, beatniks, dropouts, and just plain old-fashioned pop fans who can't afford the £3 that would give them the right to a very few square feet of equally uncomfortable grass inside the pop festival arena. The generally agreed figure for the population of Devastation Hill is 15,000, and it's increasing by the minute, a fact that's causing a certain amount of worry to the organisers of this extravaganza. From the hill, 15,000 can watch the goings-on on stage for free, a loss of some £45,000 in ticket money, and a fact which angers not only the organisers, but the 100,000 or so who have paid up. The organisers went as far as threatening to run off the squatters, a threat which caused the population of Devastation Hill no small amount of hilarity. As the word spread last night of the threat, the hoots of laughter from 15,000 throats quickly changed the minds of the organisers with their handful of private security men. The police are noticeable by their absence on the site itself, their theory being that it would be impossible anyway to control well over 100,000 youngsters, so even the presence of the pigs in amongst this mass of humanity might do more harm than good. And still they come by the boatload, and a few enterprising or more affluent ones by the plane load. They mingle with the bona fide holidaymakers, who'll have something other than "wish you were here" to write on the back of their coloured postcards of Freshwater and Yarmouth. The locals complain about the noise, the drugs, the litter, the permissiveness of it all, and then turn back to their cash registers, which play the sort of tune the local tradesmen prefer to hear.
Okay, now we're going to talk about my one and only show for Dead & Company's final tour, Summer Tour 2023. It's the only show, unless something really strange happens, it is the only show we're going to be able to catch on this tour, my family. So I don't have a whole lot of pictures from it because I wanted to soak in the magic. So, but I'll share what I can. So anyways, yes, so it was in Burgettstown or Ville or Street or whatever. It was in Burgettstown, and the traffic was the nightmare everybody has heard about. We heard that the gates were opening at 3, and like I said, we live in Kent, so it's about 2 hours away, so we left around 1 because we figured get there by the gate, we should be able to get in pretty quick. And we did wait about an hour, maybe a little bit longer in line. But I think one of the things that a lot of people aren't telling you, or it wasn't their experience, is that even though we were in line that long, the whole line, everybody was super chill and great spirits and waving flags out and, honking at each other and, like, saying, hey, I like the album you got on. I mean, it was just a dead crowd in cars, in traffic. So it was very chill, very mellow, very fun. Believe it or not. Well, okay, not fun. You're stuck in a car. But we were listening to the Cornell show from DNC the whole time, and we had fun. And I got to embarrass my daughter and her friend that were in the back seat the whole time by waving my Uncle Sam flag. You've probably seen it on Facebook and stuff. And a good time. So we got in and we got parked pretty quickly. And not only did we get parked pretty quickly, we were relatively close to the west gate at Star Lake and Shakedown, which was, it's basically kind of behind and to the side of the actual arena. So my partner and our oldest daughter had to go in a separate vehicle. So they didn't leave right away. So they didn't show up for like another hour or two after we did. So three of us immediately ran to Shakedown, and it was a huge Shakedown, a lot of cool vendors. I got a couple really cool shirts here, and I'm gonna put I don't have any notes or anything like normal because I just wanted to talk to you guys and ramble. But I will post a link to this dude's website if you want his shirts. But he's the guy that created the Dead Commandments, which is one of the Dead shirts I have that I get tons of compliments on. But I got a couple shirts from him, and I'll show you those pictures. And pretty groovy, pretty cool stuff, and super cool guy. And we walked around the lot a bit. I didn't get to run into as many friends as I was hoping, and I did try to sell some pins and stickers. I didn't do very well, but I know what I did wrong, so I'm going to be ready for the fish show, also at Star Lake on July 21st, which is my first fish show, and it is also my 50th birthday, so if you see me, you gotta say hi, okay? Big deal for me. Anywho, don't look for this, look for the terrapin hat, you'll know it when you see it. Anywho, so, great Shakedown, phenomenal people, good vibes, music everywhere, lots of beer to be had, it is what it is, and lots of other things. Fortunately, because of two different cars and stuff, we walked around for a bit, and then I had to leave the kids at Shakedown while I tried to find my partner, which never happened. We had to meet them inside the gate, but, yeah. And then I couldn't find the kids when I went back to Shakedown, and found out they were in the line I wanted to be in, so I just cut in line with them, which was good because I had the tickets, they didn't. So, I'm from, like I said, Northeast Ohio, so generally we go to Blossom for these kind of shows, and I will tell you what, I do not like the entrance to Blossom, because unless you know where the side entrance is, everything bottlenecks when you get to the gate, and it takes forever. We went to see the Dead and Company in 2017, and spent just a little bit too long at Shakedown, and so when we got in line, it took forever, and we missed almost the entire first set. Our fault, but also their fault. Add some gates, Blossom. Add some more gates, or more stalls, cattle stalls, to get us through the line, whatever. But at Burkettstown, at Star Lake, you're like in and out so fast. I mean, it was so, I was surprised. Like, my partner and our oldest were behind us quite a bit. And, it only took like 20 minutes for them to find us once they got, so they got in pretty quick. So that's just to give you a very poorly described idea of how fast it is if you haven't been there. And then once in there, the place was packed. The vibes were fire. It was so good. So many people. Like, it felt like a family reunion in many ways, even though I didn't get to run into any of my friends. Like, I ran into one of my buddies really quick at Shakedown, but I was about to leave, and he was selling. So, the dude that designed all the cool pins. His name's Brian. If you see him, he goes to a lot of Disco Biscuit shows and stuff. He's a good dude, so buy a pin from him. But anyways, focus. kiss the mic. So, you get it. I mean, great vibes. Everybody was excited. Everybody was positive. And I just like the way that Burgettstown is set up because we normally go through the west gate, but whatever the gate is behind it, I'm not doing directions right now. Both of them, I mean, it's like you're literally right there. It's not like a hall to get to the lawn or even the pavilion. We do lawn because I like to be out there dancing and grooving and hanging out with the tribe. So, awesome crowd. Everybody's doing great this year. You know, loving on each other, helping each other out, just sharing and being groovy. I did make a couple new friends, and we did some sharing. So it was a good time, and I was ready for the show. Whole family was all in one piece together when the band started. And I don't have a set list or anything. You want a detailed set list and you want like what each song was like, I'm sure someone else has done it. This is just a regular Deadhead dude who went to a cool show and wants to talk to you about it. Anyways, what was I saying? It's been an interesting morning, sorry. So, like I said, great vibe. Now the band has sounded better than they ever have, and that's something because last year was pretty high. Set the bar pretty high, but they sounded phenomenal. All of them were on fire. You could tell the band themselves were in great spirits. And the thing that I tell everybody about this tour, because this is the only show I'm going to be able to catch, but again, it's the only show I'm going to be able to catch. But I've listened to a lot of them online. I've streamed some of them and stuff, and I mean, they just sound amazing. Now, a little editorial here, and I don't mean this to sound negative. I'm not trying to harsh your mellow or anything, but since day one of Dead and Company, there has been a certain section, group, whatever, of Dead fans that have kind of not so nice to John Mayer. And I'm going to get into my whole reason why I think John Mayer is perfect for Dead and Company in another episode and stuff. But everybody was like, oh, he can't play, or oh, you know, he was mean, he was a jerk, you know, blah, 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 you know, back in the day and stuff like that. All gossip stuff aside, okay, I have not heard one negative thing about Mr. Mayer this year. In fact, I've heard a lot of people saying like, oh man, he killed it on this solo. So I haven't heard anything, and I don't need to. If you want to bitch about John Mayer, go do it somewhere else, because this is not the place. This is a John Mayer, Donna Jean Godcho free space, safe space. Okay? If you're going to complain about either one of those two, take it to another Dead YouTube, because it's a safe space if you're a fan of those two. Anywho, so I know I'm rambling, it's ridiculous, but maybe you're still watching, I don't know. But what I noticed is that with everybody not kind of complaining or giving John a hard time or anything, at least to me, it seemed this year at our show, he played more like John Mayer than ever before. More like his own style and just playing. I mean, I'm not saying he's trying to copy Jerry or anything. We know that. And being a fan of some of Mayer's stuff, since the first show, I can hear, you know, Mayer stuff going on. But like the show we were at, it was just like he was sitting in with them and playing whatever he thought was appropriate to the song. And it was amazing. So that's why I'm hoping John Mayer does some more Dead stuff after this tour. So anyways, so again, we did have amazing show. I will say I have seen a lot of cool shows, and especially in the 90s. And I will say, hands down, when you factor in the vibes and the crowd and the band and everything, this was the best show I've ever been to. Again, I'm not doing an official review, but if I did, total thumbs up on the show. If you are able to stream it, do so. If you haven't heard it yet, good times were had by all. We highly enjoyed ourselves. Now, having said that, let's move on. Oh, exit. I keep forgetting. So getting out of there was a pain in the ass. We got got done 11-ish, somewhere in there, and we still have a 2-hour car ride to get home. And we got to our car really quick. That wasn't bad at all. We got out of our specific space to get into like the spaces aisle, but not the main aisle to get out of there. And we got there pretty quick, but then we sat for well over an hour. Just sat there. And then it probably took another half hour or more to actually get out of the stadium and get out of traffic and stuff. And my numbers are probably fuzzy because we made one stop for about 10 minutes at a gas station to get to fuel up and get some snacks. So, again, my numbers are fuzzy because we didn't get home from that show until 4 o'clock in the morning, which means we basically didn't even leave the venue till 2. So, perhaps it took us longer than that. But regardless, traffic is not Star Lake's strong suit, but every show I've been to sounds great. And so if you're willing to put up with that kind of stuff, go to Star Lake. Second show I went to was actually this past Friday. It was a spur of the moment show. A buddy of mine invited me to a little bar music place called Jinx. It's in downtown Cuyahoga Falls here in Ohio. Again, links for all of this stuff. And I actually stumbled upon Jinx last summer on a record hunt. And, I heard Grateful Dead music in the distance, so I went around, and there was a band playing. I don't even remember who it was. Talked to people for a little bit, but I couldn't stay. I had things to do that day. So I really haven't been there since. A buddy of mine at work has been just like, dude, you gotta come here. It's a great time. Most of the bands are free. They just work for tips and blah, blah, blah. And Jinx is a really cool place. It's a tight fit, but it's kind of like a general store, art museum, bar, record store, concert venue. And they used to sell kayaks. But it's a cool place. Everybody that works there is super chill, super nice. I saw the owner, and just from her reaction, I didn't talk to her, but I saw her. From her reaction of everything, she's ahead, so that's always a bonus when we have a venue that someone is part of the family. So super cool. I know, at least when they first started, there was a lot of Dead shows happening there. So check them out on their website. And, if you see a show you like, it's definitely a cool place. Again, it's a tight fit, so be prepared for that. But even if you have to go outside and stand on the sidewalk, you can still hear everything really good. And I know this isn't just going to be in Ohio, so... that whole downtown area of Cuyahoga Falls has an open drink policy, so you can go into a bar and fill up your drink, go out and walk around, and then go to another bar and get another one and all that. So it's kind of a cool vibe and kind of a really cool place. There's always live music going on down there somewhere, so go down to Cuyahoga Falls. But when I was there, before we get to the show, I met one Mr. I believe it's Jerkless77. Okay. And he is a artist, and I'm just loving this Steely, but he is an artist. He makes stickers and shirts and pins and stuff like that. If you're able to do that with this, I don't know. Here is the cool little box. Hope you can scan it. If not, it is JERKILLES77 on all social media. Again, that's JERKULES77. And I will have a link to his website at the bottom. And tell him the Deadhead Daddy sent you. But funny thing is, I actually remember seeing him and his wife at Dead & Company. So, small world. But anyways, me and a couple buddies saw Dupree's Dead Band, and I've heard a lot of good things about them, but I'd never seen them. And again, I'm not going to get into set lists and stuff, but really good band, really tight, did a really good job, and as the name, having Dupree in it, kind of implies, their focus on the Dead music is kind of the Pigpen era. Most Dead bands that you go see really focus on that 70s era stuff, and even some of Brent's stuff. But these guys, at least at our show, were more geared towards the Pigpen era. So as much as I love everybody's interpretation for the most part that I've seen, it was just cool that it was a different type of set list. Again, amazing vibes. Everybody was super cool. Everybody was feeling good. It was a good time. Halfway, set break, my buddies and I went outside and to talk to people and get some fresh air. And by the time the second set started, we lost our space. Tight fit, but again, sounds great outside. So we hung out outside and just had a really good time. It was fun. So if you're in Cuyahoga Falls, you're looking for a cool, chill place to see a local band for cheap, Jinx is the place. If you're looking for a good tribute band that you want to see, Dupree's Dead Band is definitely well worth your time. You will be very, very happy with them, I promise. Excuse me, that's why the coffee's here. Alright, sorry for rambling so much, but that's what I have for now. If you've noticed the last few shorts I've sent, I've been saying if you want to appear in the show, here's my email. It'll be at the end of this show, and I'll even put it as a link. And what I'm trying to do, with not much success, because I'm just a tiny guy, is two things. I want to do a video, which may not happen till next summer at this rate, but I want to do a video, like a safety video for Shakedown, the do's and don'ts and stuff like that. So if any of you out there have some suggestions for do's and don'ts, safety rules at Shakedown, dead shows or not, any of them, you can email me. I would rather you do, or you can comment on this video and give me some. Just something new, something different to do. So, I've always planned from day one of my old shows to when we go to Shakedown do videos, but then you get caught in all the Shakedown stuff, and I would rather see it than look at it through a lens and experience it. So I never do it. But, I'd like to get some safety tips from you all, and for all the noobs out there, for all the people that just got on the bus. And then my other thing that I want to do is if you have any incredible, what I'm calling road stories, funny, scary, whatever, I want to know them. I want to put together, some videos of a bunch of the stories and stuff like that. And it can be at a Dead show, it can be at a different show, it can be while you're on the road, while you're camping, while you and your buddies are hanging out in the bedroom with all the groovy lights and the clouds. Whatever it is, if you got a good, interesting, funny story, I want to hear them. And all I'm asking is if you want to do it is to send me an email. Just a short video, and the easiest way to download it for me is I think they're MP4s. I do all, but go ahead, send me your videos because I want to put them on here. If I put them on here, I'll of course list you by however you want in the credits at the end. And if you are a business, you make groovy dead art, or you're a band, cover band or otherwise, I'll put links to your business or band or whatever in there as well, so people can find you. And let's just hang out, chit-chat about stuff. I'm also going to be doing some appearances on Karma Radio soon, but I'll get to that in July. I'll tell you when that's going to happen. Keep an ear out. Again, if you see me on the street, if I got a sticker, I'm going to hand it out to you. And, but definitely stop me and say, hey now. And, we'll we'll have some good stories to share with each other, maybe. In the meantime, I want to thank you. Sorry for all the tapping. I know it's crazy, but in the meantime, I want to thank each and every one of you for subscribing, liking, following, all that stuff, and for watching this video. It means a lot to me. I want to thank Sold Out Productions for helping with this video. We'll just kind of helping with the channel and you know, keeping us as part of the family and things like that. Beyond that, man, I just want each and every one of you to have a great day, a great week, a great life, and remember, man, stay grateful. Peace.